On the entire.
Alright, so let's go back. Alright, everyone, welcome back. Part 2. This is the sorting, I guess you could say, or sorting, or whatever you want to call it. You opened up an instant collection, basically. Christmas was awesome to you guys, and you have all this in front of you. Where do we go? Right.
Yeah, generally, what I do first is I kind of have everything in a pile like this. I move it all out of my way.
Yep.
And I just grab one of the stacks and
Sort by color.
Start sorting by color.
Yep.
And any rares, so any of the gold symbols,
I'll go over that when we start hitting those.
we will pull aside.
So I'm going to move the lands out of the way, because we don't need those right now.
No, these we won't use till we build anything. So
Yep.
these can just kind of.
And then the other guys I'm actually going to put off to the side right now, because we may use those as like a base, something of the sorts, is our Planeswalker decks. So we're going to get rid of those.
Yeah, there's certainly decks we can look at in our building phase of just maybe modifying and having them be competitive in that way.
Yep. So maybe that'll be another video.
Certainly.
So I'm going to put these back here.
We'll move these over towards me here where you can't see them right now. But
you can't see them, but by the magic of video, they're still there. So let's start sorting white, blue, red, green.
To speed this up a little bit, I'm going to sort some over here.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm just going to walk through things I see. So with this, you're going to get lands and other things. But here's what we were talking about. So I'm going to put this here, here, and here, so you guys can see the symbols. Hopefully you should be able to see that. You have a black symbol, which is common. You're going to get a lot of those. You get commons every pack, no matter what. That's whatever. Uncommon, you're always going to get 3 uncommons. And then the rare is your gold symbol. And then if you get a mythic rare, that's your coppery.
Yeah, bronze, copper. Yeah.
So we have that.
Just because something may be common or uncommon doesn't necessarily make it a bad card either.
Nope. And you're going to get lands and tokens as well, so. But really what we're doing is just trying to go through. And this doesn't give you a good idea of where you're at, but it gives you, like, sometimes you're like, oh, I've got like 6 of these cards, or I've got 4 of these, and I'm just going to put the rares out in front of mine. And I'm going to just include the foils in there if we got a foil, so. And this will also give you, like, oh, maybe the blue pile is the biggest. Maybe I should look at that, because it's easier for me to build off that.
More options.
More options, more something to do. You're going to have multicolor cards. Those are your gold cards. So, not every multicolored gold card is great, but there's some really solid ones out there. So, really where we're at now is we're just going to go through really quick. Ryan's got a pile. I've got a pile. We're kind of just, by the movie magic, in about 10 minutes, you'll see everything done. And it will look great, and we'll have a idea of what looks good to us. So,
now, I mean, sorting it by color is great. There are people like me who get a little bit more, I guess, obsessive about it, and I tend to branch mine out to being by set, and then I kind of try to alphabetize it to make it easier for me to find things. But that takes a lot more time. And when you're first doing it, just getting them sorted out to see what you have is good. And then when you want to get yourself really organized, you can go down that road.
So, I mean, what's really great, like I say, I'm just ripping through this. And we have a lot of... What I'm seeing is a lot of really good cards for us. And we're going to be able to use a lot of this in... Basically, we might be able to get 2 decks out of this. I mean, yeah. So here you go. That's a mythic rare. The Verdurous Scalehulk is a mythic rare. Really, actually, one of the
better ones, out of set.
Yeah. And right now, if you're looking at getting into Standard, I will say it's probably the cheapest it's ever been.
Yeah, your land bases aren't outrageous due to the fact you don't have like fetch lands and. There's going to be expensive cards. I want to talk about those two.
Yep. So the other thing you're gonna see, Ryan just actually handed me one. I'll put it here. That's a checklist card. So that's for your flip cards. So if you're going to, maybe you're watching a video, and you're like, all right, I really want to start brewing, and I need to figure things out.
Stuff like that.
You have a Arlen chord you're gonna play, but maybe your sleeves are see-through, or you just don't want to. I wouldn't even chance it at this point nowadays.
Or if you don't have sleeves for some
Yeah,
reason.
or you don't have sleeves for
should
some
get.
reason. You should be using checklist cards because when you flip the card, you can still see what's going on in the back. So, checklist, you just fill in the bubble. If there's a power and toughness, you put it on there. And that card now becomes your Arlen chord. Now, you can't run 4 checklist cards in one Arlen chord.
It has to be all.
You have to have 4. No, I mean 4 checklist cards and then 1 Arlen chord on the side. You need 4 Arlen cards for 4 checklist cards. So if you get deck check, they will whack you for that.
Correct. Yeah, you need to have the equal number of cards on the side that you have.
So honestly, I think we actually got a good amount of Kaladesh, which isn't rotating for a while.
No, I mean even Innistrad and Shadows aren't going until October. It's still almost a year.
Yeah,
and it's going to be quite a while in that year.
and I think we're gonna get once we get to the deck building portion. I think you guys are really gonna enjoy this, and then we're gonna get into deck testing and how you test decks and what really goes from there. And
the other thing sorting does for you though too is it kind of gives you a second glance at all the cards you have.
Yep.
So maybe you miss something when you're unpacking, or who knows. But it gives you an idea of maybe where you want to go just as you're doing it. I know when I'm sorting my cards, there's plenty of times where, hey, that card's actually pretty cool. Maybe I want to try something with that.
Oh, I've done that. I've looked at that card and gone, is that playable? And then I'm like, hey, you know what?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Exactly.
And that's where we come in. We like to help educate. We like to help teach. And then at the same point, we just want to be an all-around fun, positive experience for you as our viewers to enjoy themselves and watch. And, we'll have some comedic video, There'll be times you'll laugh at us and go, what are they doing? And there's times you're like, well, I wanted to do the same thing. So...
Yeah, I mean, I would say, our style of deck building, we like to build, we do enjoy playing those really powerful decks, and who doesn't? But at the same time, we kind of like to build sort of off-the-wall things that maybe are cards that are forgotten about and are actually, can be very powerful when put into the correct decks.
Yeah, I can definitely say that. So, I do enjoy this. I think everyone, once you kind of get into it, should... maybe you've been drafting a bit, you have some cards you aren't sure about yet.
And drafting is a great way to get into playing Magic.
I completely
It
agree.
helps you get some cards.
It gets you comfortable with the turns.
Yeah, and I'll go back to what I said earlier of, a lot of Friday Night Magic events aren't events that people are really serious about, especially a draft. People generally don't mind if you have to ask a question about something or not sure how something works. They'll help you out.
Yeah, I mean, I was that guy many, many years ago. So.
When I came back to playing, I had to remember how to do most things. So it's all about finding. Magic is all about finding a good, friendly game store to play at.
So you got most of your stuff?
Yeah, I'm just about done. Just got these right here, which are all green cards, it looks like. Green, some more artifacts. Alright,
So hand me what we got.
Here's rares.
Okay, so let me put rares in their spots. Because I got rares up front here so people can see. We got rare lands, which is great. We got some more blue rares, another Shivan, Soul, Aegis. Alright.
That's all white.
White.
All red.
All red.
Blue.
Blue.
Colorless.
Ooh, fancy.
So the non-artifact colorless ones.
I just put them all
Oh,
in the
did you?
same.
Okay. Artifacts.
Yep.
Non-basic.
Non-basics. Wow, we got a lot of non-basics. Fantastic.
Gold. They're both rare.
All right, so both rare. Well, one's mythic rare. Both are mythic
Black.
rare actually. And green. So when you guys look at this is going to be the shorter of the videos. So I'm just going to go through the rares. So maybe you're like, all right, I've got all this in front of me. Where do I start? Well, first two we have our gold cards, and we go, all right, we got Omnath. He may be really expensive, but in the late game, maybe he's pretty okay. And then Arlencord is a really good Planeswalker. Now, if you're new to the game and you're like, what's a Planeswalker? Or you're coming back and you're like, we didn't have Planeswalkers back when we started. Because
when I stopped playing,
yeah.
there weren't I stopped in Ice Age, and there were no Planeswalkers back
Yep.
then. The closest thing you had was, what, Merit Lodge?
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
So we have Arlencord. So what Arlencord does, you can plus her, and she gives one creature +2/+2 vigilance and haste. So vigilance means it does not tap when it attacks, and haste is exactly as it sounds. It can attack the turn it came in played.
Yep.
Or I can zero her. She puts a 2/2 wolf onto the field, green wolf, and then she transforms. And now we have Arlen embraced by the moon. So now she is a werewolf, because in Shadows and stuff we had a good old werewolf sub-theme.
Werewolf and vampires.
Vampires. That's okay. And so I can give all my creatures +1/+1 on trample for her plus. Her minus deals 3 damage to target creature or player.
Yep.
So then she transforms back, so you can flip her back and forth. And then she actually will give you... I don't think I've ever emblemed her, but...
I have emblemed her once.
Um,
But usually by the time you emblem her, you're very far ahead.
yes. So we have... Okay, so we got red and green. Red and green looks really good. This is how I kind of get into my sorting, building ideas thing. So white, we have Deck and Stone, we have Angel Invention. Really good cards. We have 2 Aegises because we open up 2 deck builders. So I'd say one. You're going to have one there, and I captured by the Consulate. Not really great, not really bad. It's kind of just a little removal. Blue, we have 2 Sphinxes. We have a Paradox Outcome, and we have 2 of the Giant Leviathans, which... Who knows? Maybe we're going to play it in a deck. It could be fun. In the red, we have double Shivan Dragon. We really didn't get a lot of red rares, per se.
You know, though, red lately has been really in the uncommons and commons, where it has
Yes.
a lot of solid removal cards.
Yep, and we do have a big pile of red to go through and all of that,
yeah.
which we won't go through here. You'll see us in the building side for that. So Soul, Deathcap Cultivator. I like the Architect in here, and I definitely do like Green Gear Hulk.
Yeah.
Especially if we just go to, it may be a 2-part type video where we build a deck just out of this, and then build 2 decks, improve on 2 decks, shall we say, with the actual Planeswalker packs, because I feel like that's what they're trying to do, is get you to improve on them.
For sure. They're good places to start, so.
So our black, really no good rares there. The Nightmare is okay, but you'd have to be mono black for it to make a difference. In our colorless or artifacts, we do have a Cultivator's Caravan, so that does fit into our decks really well, and Scrappy Scrounger, which we don't run black in anything, but still not a bad one. Game Trail as our uncommon, and Blooming Marsh, or our rare lands.
So we have some decent rare lands to start with.
So we definitely have some decent rare lands. So this is something, like I say, this is going to be the shorter of them. So you guys got to see a little bit of everything, where we got, what we got, and where our mindset's going to go. Is I'm looking at these piles right here, my green and my red, which look like the biggest piles. And they look like something we maybe are going to journey into, shall we say.
Yep.
And
generally, once you get to this phase where you have them sorted by color, and you're like, okay, I'm done for the day, that's where, your deck pool, your toolkit, or your holiday gift box that you got.
Yep.
You can put those in there. You got the nice dividers.
Yep.
And you can stick those in the box and at least get it organized and out of your way until you're ready to build something.
Yep. So we'll see you guys in part 3, and I'm pretty sure part 3 and part 4 now will be 2 building sets. So one will be building with me and Ryan with the Planeswalkers. The other one will be just kind of seeing if we can build something from this. If not, I mean, still taking both Planeswalker. Maybe one will be part 3 and then the other one will be part 4, and start working around that and seeing what colors come out of it and all that. So we will see you guys at that video. We'll see you guys next week for that. If you guys like what you heard, please do hit that sub button, because that's really where it comes in for us. We know you get to know that you love us about that, and we're going to keep producing more of this awesome content. So we'll see you guys next week.